All right, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news in 20 teachers or co-workers at a school charged with abuse of children, evidence of them abusing children. Teachers, right? That they were so proud of teaching. I got a couple people that do that to me. Man. I'm a teacher. I teach people. Yeah. All right. Let's watch this video. It's breaking news. Don't let the devil win and his witches. Let me post this channel, news channel in my chat. Copy, paste. Let me put it in the description too. Paste. All right. All right, let's get on with this video.
20 school workers have been charged with abuse, and they are alleged to be doing issues here with abuse as far as physical harm and also mental harm as well. So let's listen in on Live Now from Fox.
We're here today, as you all know, we charged earlier today 20 individuals who worked at the Chester Community Charter School with child abuse. 9 of the individuals actually, according to the surveillance videos we've reviewed, actually laid their hands on children and abused them physically. 11 other individuals who are assorted different roles in the school turned their backs and looked the other way, or in fact, oftentimes looked right at the abuse happening and failed to report it. So they are charged with failure to report. All of these employees, all 20 people, have a duty under Pennsylvania law to report instances of child abuse. They are mandated.
Wow, 20 of them. And they were charged with not reporting abuse. And we're going to see a lot of these charges in America of these people that knew certain people were being abused and didn't do anything about it. They turned a blind eye, right? And that's so common in America. Turn a blind eye. Well, a lot of people were raised that way, right? Mind your own business or whatever, right? Street stuff or whatever. All right, let's get back to this. Do I think they should be charged? Sure. Right? Yeah. If this was an ongoing thing there and it just how many kids? For how many years has this been going on?
Mandated to report that by law. So by not reporting it, they violated the law. We've also charged those 11 individuals who witnessed this without doing anything with endangering the welfare of those children. But there are 9 individuals who we have surveillance videos that I've watched of them putting their hands on these children, some as young as 5. It's their K to 5 years grades. And these are children who are in an emotional support program. And so in the surveillance videos, you can see them doing pressure point holds on the child's shoulder, causing them pain. You can see them grabbing their hands and putting them in front of them to restrain them. Oftentimes, you can see them then using their knee to take the child to the ground. And at least one incident, I saw them jack a kid up against the wall. This is just unacceptable behavior to happen anywhere, but particularly in a school setting for children who are supposed to be getting emotional support. So we are thankful that the Chester Township Police, as soon as this came to light, Officer Strofe and Detective Mullen, working with our office, my Deputy District Attorney, Kristen Kemp, have investigated this matter. It's still an ongoing investigation, but we've charged these individuals and we're moving forward. And I assume you all might have some questions.
Can you talk about the emotional support program, first of all, so we understand that these kids are supposed to be getting help with their emotions and they're getting attacked in the class?
Exactly right. I mean, my understanding is these are children who it's been identified that they need more help at that age, a very tender age, K to 5 grades we're talking about here. And so these people are supposed to be giving them extra support as they're trying to learn.
So these kids, from what I'm getting, have special needs, right? They don't know how to deal with emotions. They don't know how to deal with their feelings. And they're sent to this school to learn. And because they have outbursts or possibly these kids probably have not been diagnosed. And it could be some of them have Tourette's and have outbursts or whatever. But then them themselves are supposed to be there for help, but then they get abused. And this is common in America, right? Common. The devil works in many ways. And it ain't only within the schools, it's everywhere. It's within business. It trickles over. It's the trickling of effects. Well, let's get back to this video.
In school, and instead oftentimes they're just either intimidating them physically and then laying hands on them. It's very disturbing to see the surveillance videos.
Jack, could you tell us the relationship between the contract?
Okay, so these people were intimidating the kids, knowing that these kids were supposed to be there and they had problems and stuff like that. And they're intimidating the kids, and then they abuse the kids after the kids stick up for themselves or have an outburst. Yeah. Interesting.
Contractor and the school and who was involved there, and are they just as culpable as the school or vice versa?
My understanding, and again, this is a continuing investigation, is that most of these, if not all of these employees, I don't think all of them, but most of them were contracted through this organization, Peak Performance. Thank you. They're supposed to be keeping records, they're supposed to be training, and they've told the school that they were doing all of that. The law enforcement investigation is finding that out to not be true, that they haven't trained these people in the proper way to restrain a child, if you have to restrain a child. And the school is under an obligation, I think you see it in the complaint, that if a child is restrained at any time, that has to be reported by the state. So I think there are some issues here for both the school and certainly for this company that was providing some of these employees, because the school wasn't looking at their own surveillance video.
Jack, the affidavit describes this as systemic. It wasn't sporadic, it wasn't incidental. This was something that was not.
So the schools weren't surveilling their own cameras. They weren't watching their videos. They weren't going back and watching the videos and seeing, oh wow, this is a little bit overboard. And this is also a trickle effect. We see this also in business. We see this in numerous things, the trickle effect. So the school hired these people from a place, and these people that were hired from this place were abusing the kids, but the school wasn't doing their jobs by watching the videos.
Known about the people ignored or participated in. Is your office investigating the rest of that school just to make sure that this isn't taking place anywhere else?
Yeah, great question. So we are, as I mentioned, Alex, it's a continuing investigation. If you see from the complaint, most of the incidents that we've charged happened between November and December of last year. We're still looking at video. So there will be more work being done by these great officers from Chester Township who picked up the cudgel when we first got complaints in the door. They have been investigating this nonstop. But Chief Colson, who I spoke to this morning, is absolutely committed to continuing the investigation. And if there are more charges warranted, we're going to bring them.
Do you think that there are more victims out there? And if so, what's your message to these parents instead?
I can't tell you how many more people. I mean, 26 children have been identified as people who are victims already. We also know that some young people witnessed these things happening and may not have been actually victimized themselves. That's another form of victimization. I think, again, to Alex's point, this is a systemic problem in this school where these kids in this program were living in fear, a lot of them. So if there are more victims, we would love their parents to come forward. It probably took a lot of courage for these young children to tell their parents what was happening in school.
So the people were living in fear. The kids were living in fear. I've been there before. Every day around here, I'm living in my own fear and these people's fear. But yeah, I can't blame the kids because the kids probably were scared to death. These are 5-year-olds, right? 5-year-old, 8-year-old kids. And they were being taunted. They were being provoked when they were there for special need education and help. Yeah, I mean, how long? I don't know. You'd have to go back and see when did they first hire this organization? When did they start bringing in their people and see if the abuse started then, right? See when the devil worked his way into this. Is the same thing that happened out here in Howell with the military school, right? You got to find out. Very bad. A lot of people now are coming to their senses saying it's very bad around here. They all thought it was a joke, right? But it is that bad. And here it was all covered up. For how long? Who knows?
School and why they were afraid to go back to school. But as we're interviewing these children, we're getting the stories. And if there are more people and more children who want to come forward, we are here for them, as are the Chester Township Police.
Have the victims' families seen these videos and just your thought as a human being watching these?
Yeah, I don't think that they've seen the videos. As a parent, I'm really disturbed.
Oh, I'm with you, sir. As a parent, I am too, right? A lot of lies these people told. How many churches lied for these people in this little town I live in? How many of you people lied to the government and now the government researched it and it was all lies? How many people died? I don't know. Even, we got to have trouble in this little town too, right? We don't want your meth. We don't want your pills or alcohol, so quit pushing it on us, right? We will take some of that grown cannabis. Good God, we love to sleep. Or try and just go without pain, right? But this is just unbelievable. I imagine the numbers are outstanding. There's probably more than 23 kids that were abused, right? I would think there's probably more. They're just keeping their mouth shut because they're scared to death.
To think that when you send your child to school, that somebody who is being paid to take care of your child is actually hurting them is just frightening. Just as a human being, it's awful to watch these grown people, the way they're treating these young kids. And you can just imagine what this is going to be like for those children going forward. This is just not the way we're supposed to treat young people, particularly in a school setting. It's been a complete failure. And I'm outraged by it. Talking again to Chief Colson this morning, he hasn't seen anything like this either for a long time in his career. And so that's why we want to make sure that we brought the charges as quickly as possible, but also to continue the investigation to make sure.
We're not only seeing this in the schools or whatever, we're seeing people being mistreated that don't even know people and they're mistreating people. We're seeing this happen in government projects and apartment facilities. We're seeing this happen within elderly living quarters and stuff. We're seeing this across the board, this abuse. It screams out to me, it's Satan, right? It's the devil. Well, everyone's worried. Hey, the devil's coming. He's been here, right? He's been here a long time. I mean, he is the one that fell to earth and started corrupting everybody thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's across the board. We're seeing this abuse. It's everywhere. It's in the business. It's everywhere. Societies, whatever. And then when someone does stand up and takes it on their own, in their own hands, what happens? They get in trouble, right? There's only so much a human can take, and then they snap. They end up killing people or hurting people or whatever. And then when it's all said and done, everyone, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. When the truth is he was abused his whole life. And he snapped. And before he snapped and went crazy, he wiped out a bunch of people. Right? What can you do? He was being abused. He screamed out. No one would listen. No one would listen. Right? Yeah, this is widespread on Earth.
Sure that we've stopped it.
And Jackie, 20 individuals, 26 students. Have you seen a case like this where this many people are involved?
Not like this. Again, one of the more disturbing things is how there are people sitting there watching it happen. Sitting in the teacher's desk watching these kids get abused. And the surveillance video doesn't have audio, but you can see from most of these attacks, these children are just sitting there. And an adult comes over and starts pinching their shoulder till they're writhing in pain, and then putting them in restraints and then picking them up. Meanwhile, there's an adult just sitting there watching it all happen. I'm as outraged by that as you can imagine, right? Both the fact that somebody is physically assaulting these kids, but also educators, people who are working in the school, just allowing it to happen, systemic. Look the other way.
How long was the school operating with this company? How many years?
Don't know. You have to ask the school.
So with the 20 people, have they said anything? What kind of charges, what kind of time are they facing? Have they given any explanation for what?
Well, they're all, dealing with lawyers at this point and turning themselves into the police. I think 3 defendants have already turned themselves in today. They're all facing felony counts at this point. Some of them, a lot of them. Harris, Daniels, those defendants who actually touched those children time and time again, they're on all of these videos over and over again. And again, this is a continuing investigation, John, so there may be more charges coming.
Well, I hear you, sir. Let us know how many you got to charge. And this, like I said, this is not only in the schools. This is in every business. People are abused. Every school, not just this school. Everywhere. Society, like I said, communities. Even in these apartment complexes, people didn't do anything. They didn't call the people. The people that did call police were threatened, right? Or poisoned, or whatever. Or they would just come here. And from now on, the government is saying nobody can come in and inspect it, even if they own the property. They can't come into your apartment. And if you tell them no, they can't come in. even if they own the property, right? That's called renters' laws. They just because they own the property, they can't bust the door down without a warrant. Yeah, I mean, how many people are abused? I don't know. I've called. Right? There's one thing. These people, you called the police. Well, I'm not affiliated with a gang. I'm not affiliated with the mafiosos. I'm not affiliated with a club. So if an older person is being abused, or a kid, or a family member, I'm going to call the authorities. Now, it's not my problem if the authorities are corrupt and belong to gangs, or might be the abuser's family member, or whatever, or best friend. That's not our problem. So I'm hearing you, sir. Right? I'm hearing you, Jack. Should these people be charged? Well, I guess so. But it's only so much. Maybe they did report it, but the higher echelons paid no attention to it. They overlooked it, right? That's no biggie, right? He's just a retard. Let's continue with the video.
But they're going to have their day in court. Right now, these are charges, allegations, and we're prepared to move forward and prosecute them fully.
For the parents of remaining students there, how confident are you that this abuse has stopped? What would you tell them?
What I can tell them is all we can do in law enforcement is stop what we've seen and what we've learned and what we've uncovered thus far. We're going to continue the investigation. And if there are more incidents, if people want to come forward and help us with that, we are open for that business. But we're also just going to do what we do in law enforcement. We're going to just continue to investigate this until we don't have any more bad actors to hold accountable.
And this was just a 7-year-old who said,
Didn't want to go to school anymore. Didn't want to go to school anymore, John, because he was afraid to go to school. When a small child is telling you, and you're his parent, that they're afraid to go back to school because they're afraid of what the teachers are doing with them, that is just as a parent's worst nightmare. So I'm thankful those young people did that.
Yeah, it's pretty much over with, right? And like I've said many times on this channel before, we are lagging in technology is because our people in school can't learn. They can't learn. Whether they're being taunted by other people. And we want these children that then themselves are bullies in school. Their parents held liable because we've caught these parents telling their children and their adult teenage children and even their family members, you can do whatever you want. You can abuse them. And them people were killed because they picked on the wrong guy. It's not okay to abuse anybody. And I feel sorry for them people, but it's not okay. And your family members should be held accountable for that. If you're teaching your kid to be bullies and terrorize kids in school, then I don't know what to tell you. It's over with. The whole system has failed. Everything is broke down, but does it shock me? No. It was broke down 30, 40 years ago. Right? Just about. We're lucky. We went to school normal. Right? I only had one altercation my whole time with a teacher in school, and that wasn't until high school, like junior year, sophomore year. Right? And yeah, I was in slower classes because I had a disability. I had a problem. I wasn't too smart, so I was put in slower classes. And no, I didn't graduate because I went to work at a young age. Right? My parents split up. I was left at home with my mother, going back and forth. I went to work. And I didn't need too many credits to graduate. I think I was only short like 5 credits or 4 credits or something. Maybe it was less than that, 3 credits or something like that. But at that time, people had to do what they had to do, and families had to do what they had to do. So, but like I said, we're seeing this everywhere within the music business, the movie business, regular businesses, just business all the way around. Schools, churches, grocery store, everywhere. This is happening everywhere. It's over with, right? It's over with. And from what the government's saying, they might have to do certain things. We might have to, government. We might have to. I don't know. I don't know. We could pray to God. That's about it. Let's get back to this video.
I'm thankful their parents listened, and I'm thankful that the law enforcement, the Chester Township Police Department, jumped on this immediately, contacted our office, and we've done the work we've done. None of these people right now, these 20 people, are teaching children today. That's a victory for people who go to that school.
We know
The
the school
spokesperson for the
interviewed.
school said that all of the parents of these children had decided to keep their kids in the school. Do you know if that's accurate?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We know that the school says they conducted their own internal investigation. Did the school reach out to Chester Township Police?
Not to my knowledge. But the Chester Township Police did get cooperation from school officials. There's also child line reports that need to be made. So as soon as we knew something, and I'm not sure what the order was, whether or not the school knew first, but as soon as we knew something, Chester Township Police were on this that day.
Are they getting continued?
Pardon me?
Are they getting continued support from the school? Is the school still cooperating at this time?
To my knowledge, they are. But again, it's a continuing investigation. What we've done, focused on this past weekend, was making sure that we got these people charged.
How far back are you looking at getting surveillance video here?
Well, at this point, the Chester Township Police have been able to look at a couple of months worth of video. I think that they're trying to get more of that. But again, continuing investigation. Our mission right now was to hold these people accountable and make sure that they're not teaching children today.
Just to make sure, was this one classroom that kids from K, or they like each grade had a classroom of this type of?
My understanding is there was a couple of classrooms where this program was being run in. And yeah, I think you see from the complaint that they're mentioned in there, classroom A, and then another with a different name to it. I forget the second classroom's name. But I think kids filter through those classrooms during the course of the day.
Do you know if this
that's
company is working with any other schools?
I don't, not at this point.
It seems like the workload's going to be pretty big in terms of like all of those teachers. Because anybody who saw anything and didn't say anything, did everybody in the school know? It seems like a pretty huge project.
Well, what we've seen from the videos that we've looked at, right? It's inside a classroom. So if there's an individual who's a support staff who is assaulting this child, if there's a teacher watching, they've been charged. So as of today, we've gotten our hands around everybody we needed to charge based on the evidence we have today. But again, as a continuing investigation, there could be more videos uncovered. There could be more parents coming forward. But we're open to that. But we needed to get this case charged as quickly as possible, and that's why we're.
Is there anywhere parents should reach out if they think?
They can always call our office, as you know, Alex, but I would call the Chester Township Police Department, Chief Colson, Patrolman Strafe, and Detective Mullen have been doing a great job. They are the leads on this case in terms of the investigation of this.
And is that where they're turning themselves in?
Correct. And they're making arrangements with the district court as well. We have a district court here in Upper Providence where we bring child abuse task force cases. And so this case will eventually filter through that court.
Where's that at?
Right here in Upper Providence on Providence Road.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
The DOCO DA.
Wow, that's just crazy. But it don't shock me. Excuse me. It don't shock me at all. Like I said, you people believed the wrong people. You should have believed. You didn't believe. You people abused people. And we're seeing this on YouTube too. And these people will be arrested and held accountable. Right? These people are witches. They are demons. They were sent. They're bad people. They are a club. They are terrorists. They're bad. And I'm not talking about terrorists from Iran these are people within our own country and some other countries, right? But we've seen these people abuse many people. We've gotten attacked by many people. Corruption is deep, right? It rolls deep. It is deep. So my heart goes out to them kids because they were telling the truth. They were telling the truth. They were telling the truth, even though their imaginations, their attitudes, their tempers, their imaginations were wild. The truth was always there, and they told it. And it's happened to not only them 20 kids, it's happened to millions. It happens to adults. It happens to everybody. Right? I'm not acting right now. This is a very serious situation. And like I said, they should be charged if they continued to watch it over and over again. I mean, were they scared for their lives? Were these people scaring not only the children, were they scaring the teachers too? Right? You have to look at it that way too. You have to check that out. Was everybody fair for life? Who was this business? How long were they hired there? It goes on and on and on. But as also, also as we see on YouTube, these people not being who they say they are, excuse me, we've witnessed many of these people break the laws, especially in Delphi and in other cases. And they themselves have abused people, right? They're not actors. They're self-proclaimed bounty hunters, lawyers. They're not movie creator channels. They're not nothing to do with movies. I don't know. Kind of crazy if you ask me. I'm just sitting around here chilling under attack by this thing or whatever it is, or whoever it is scared, angry, and very violent. I know it's not me, it's somebody. And they might have been drove to that. And we have witnesses and plenty of footage and videos of people being abused and the police just not doing their jobs. Now, whether they were being paid by the town not to help these people, we're going to find out, right? We'll find out, which there's already evidence of that and people suing, right? These businesses and the town, right? So it is corrupt. It is some kind of an organization, whether it be the Brotherhood of Police, the Brotherhood of Odins, or Jesse Messer, or whoever it is, Odins or whoever, the Freemasons, the church, whatever. It didn't give you the right to abuse people, abuse me, and so many more. And we can't call the police for you people no more. Though they don't believe you people were anything. I guess I don't know. I'm here to testify there was many people abused here, all around the world, in this country, everywhere. People should have been thrown out. They weren't. Laws were broken to let them people live. Where did they come from? I have no idea. If they were government people, well, now they got the government for abusing people. It's just horrible. But truth be told, that is the truth. And it ain't going to stop. This is going to be a normal thing in America. And it was a normal thing when Jesus was on the earth. To their societies, it was normal. That's what they did back then. To me, it's sick, but I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I'm the crazy one, the one that the devil don't like. I don't know. I'm dealing with some of these witches myself. Some of them really pulled the wool over you folks. Some of them are marked, and we believe in that. We believe these Illuminatus are real. They're real people. They're real tattoos, and we do believe it is the tattooed ones. Uh, that's I can't change their minds. I can't change my mind. Right? I don't know. Not unless it's Jesus, but I don't think so. I don't think it is. All right, we will be back with more stuff. Well, just be aware, folks. And like I said, the devil's biggest trick was a lie. And these people been lying for a long time, folks. They've been ripping us off, lying, cheating, stealing. They lied on me. They lied on you. There's really nothing left to do. The truth is out. You folks have a good night. God bless. We'll be back with more content. What time is it? I'm going to make some tea, maybe a fire, or just maybe some music, and Sophie sleeping. She brings in the views, but only when I'm in the pet section. Right? She brings in the views. You folks have a good night.